dying while giving birth is terrible. 68% of Ugandans are very poor and outside the money economy. They can hardly afford a single meal a day. Our past and our present has all been characterized by the might power of the gun. We can't afford to have any more of that in our future. 85% of Ugandans are below 35 years. They are the future. And it's not only moral, but a responsibility for this generation to secure our own future. Vote Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert as your president 2021-2026. Vote the umbrella for a new Uganda. Our future is already indebted with over 56 trillion shillings that we are bound to pay in 94 years. Unfortunately, the biggest chunk of this has been embezzled by those who might.
We no promote no violence. We condemn the violence. Rasta no promote no violence. Give me all. Ebino bwena bina tidenyo okulwana mu bavubuka kususe nnyo kata bakulembeze ekibaswaza nnyo bamma bavubuka nze nsaba tukole wetuti abokulonda kubeere kwa ddembe ano buyinza butuuke mu ddembe ana Uganda mulonde mu ddembe awo obulamu butunyumire sabye okulonda kubeere kwa ddembe ano buyinza butuuke mu ddembe ana Uganda tubeere baddembe ano mwaka gubanyumire ovako independence tole mu ntalo kyekiganye ne Uganda okola lwa ntalo buli gavumenti ejana ntalo era bagala okugenda zebenga ntalo bakikola batya eri ebusukka nsalo abakyusa awatali kulwana ntalo lwaki temukitandika abasebo nga temwagamba kyekyabalwanyisa entalo lwaki oyoza engoye enjeru ate nozaanika ku kiti ky'enziro lwaki temulabira ku Mandela yafuka temunaata bendera abakulembeze okula mu ntebe ekireetera Uganda okufuuka eddebe buli ayogera kungula kuzimulabe ekyo tekituzimba tuba tudda mabega abantu obaleka ne balondawo omuntu watakoze ne bamugjawo ekyo nesemateeka akyogerako bomubikula kyosookerako wabula abokulonda kubeere kwa ddembe ano buyinza butuuke mu ddembe ana Uganda mulonde mu ddembe awo obulamu butunyumire sabye okulonda kubeere kwa ddembe ano buyinza butuuke mu ddembe ana Uganda tubeere baddembe ano mwaka gubanyumire. Now this is a message to every Ugandan, especially the candidates right from MC1 straight up to president. Violence is backwardness while peace is godliness. Kanuge mazima gali agakawa tanalabuka kali kubusa boy obanga mu mazima oyagala Uganda ne mu bikolwa okiraganga tuzimba omusingi okuyamba Uganda n'abaana baffe gwe balirabira amanye omuntu okugenda mu buyinza tekikyetagisa kuyiwa musaayi amanye abantu besimbawo abantu ne balondako asinze n'abafuga gwe basinze namukwata n'emukono naye abakulembeze kati mutula kati mukyakulwana lwaki mutukuza bo awo obutukuze bubi ayawuka n'endowooza yo tekyemufuula mulabewo fenna tuleba nayo omukulembeze omulungi awuliriza ebiruma abantu abakukyakolawo buli Munnayuganda woli kikakatako kuma emirembe fenna tuleba nayo abokulonda kubeere kwa ddembe ano my country. Life is life, and every man live it in his own. This is a message to the government, expressing what's exactly on the people's mind. Twakoye ebinyigiriza obulamu bwaffe na buli kitumalako eddembe lyaffe Uganda etambula edda mabega kituuse n'okutwetamya eggwanga lyaffe mulimba mutufuga bubi nnyo nammwe kale tetuganye mwalwana mu nsiko naye gw'omwana gwe wasanga nga tannazaalibwa kati naye yazaala nata kino mukiŋŋambire muzeeyi abamutukako saba ne bazeeyi banne bamugambeko eno ensonga nkyamu nnyo gyalemeddeko kati neggwanga lyonna lyenyamidde bagambe yalinga demokulasi bamuvuluka kati yafuuka na hipokulisi bagambe yali fundamento kyenji mwagizaala wakati mugivudde no kyenji bagamba kyensongeza abalwanya kati mwazibukako namwe mukola biri ebyabali bakusaba nti constitution yaabwe togikwatako kuba mwe musigadde essuubi lyabwe I say we are fighting for freedom Kampala Mukodombale Jinja we are fighting for freedom Kabale Lukunjiri Malala Kasese we are fighting for freedom Soroti Chitugum Arua Liragum we are fighting for freedom I say Wakiso Masaka Wende Mijana we are fighting for freedom Yo! We are living in a time similar to the one of slave trade bulide munsi y'olukwe naffe abakulwanirako gwe nosirikira gy'olyobeera otusaddase jjukira nti ne bwe bubeera bumyunga bwakuŋŋanye engo bugitwala terinnya no matter your age no matter your sex no matter your religion no matter your tribe whether educated or uneducated it's a revelation for the generation every this whether you are doctor or a farmer whether you are teacher or policeman coulda be a tax driver or a student coulda be a lawyer coulda be a soldier we are fighting for freedom osituke baboy temupowa baboy we are fighting for freedom bana Uganda bali ku mawanga we are fighting for freedom abana baboda boda namwe mwebereremu we are fighting for freedom yes man like Martin Luther said in the end we remember not the words of our enemies but the silence of our friends. This is a
no child is born to die, and no mother should die giving life.
We need to come together to make a difference. Everyone has a right to
no child to die, no mother should die giving life. We need to come together, you and I. Everyone, the role to play.
So hear me the man, pad the man. Imagine 282 children to die. Why don't we wonder why they have to die? Why don't you
buli omu wali alina ekkatala bweruba lubimbi buli omu n'olulwe osobola okutandikirawo olyawo munnange n'oleetawo enjawulo
osuubirani agenda okuyamba omusaayi guno omuto otabeera tte
no baby
no mother should die giving life. We need to come together, you and I.
together
Everyone,
Better man second, it's a big tragedy. Why we have to sleep and wake up in agony. Natural in the vibe system mess with biology. So we let the strategy, put it in the melody, make a discovery. So you have to follow me, 70 children generally. 20, 50, 60, get to 70, till to the infinity. Cause we have ability.
Chemi toze nawe noli chitu kwatako Laracho mwana zali mamangu na mfirawo Muvunanyizibwa bwafefe nano chitu kakatako Saving the children of the future today Mimi nawe na yule tuwache kupika masitole tuwache kusubiri pole amuka bwana salale kazi ya muhimu kuwasaidia watoto mbona wanakufa hivyo
Back to the business, we need staff and equipment. When it comes to health, y'all know my passion is endless. Women walking miles hurt to find a place for childbirth. We are all responsible, no matter how your mind works. Too many kids dying, the worst to say. Others may change this, but first it's me. I thought it couldn't get worse, but hey, 16 women died giving birth today.
Turanise misaye midokola kapudi Neba mambo kufane bale kabana kupoti Tenawe tulino kuvayo tubawe sapoti Cheweba kazukuka kamu kulanzi
amama bafanga bazala kulwachi tuwoza chimumbweno government tuyambe ngate kweyenze nangenze yegwe let's combine the energy we save the future
mulamu mw'omwana mweyagaza nga balina mama besesasesa buli mwaka nga bekulisa lyegwanga erisanyusa
No baby,
no matter the life, we need to come together. Everyone has a role to play.
Hey, you and I can change this together. You and I, tukorere wamu. Everyone is me, everyone is you. Hand in hand, hand in hand. 'Cause no time
To die, to die. No matter dying in life. We need to come together, you and I. Everyone has a role to play. No time to die. No matter dying in life. We need to come together, you and I.
Let's come together. Let's come together.
So we are bad, we are mad to babambanga mwaka kumaka. Bobby one me a give them fayaka. Say even a man style. Alright, give me the sun beat made by Renix. Bad Bobby one give them lyrics. Me want the man and woman say this. Uganda chika yeruno ayenga. Kampala si chibuga chaba fala boba fala ude yala. Eno Kampala debi babi zimbe gwe bos magira abana deba bega. Kampala si chibuga chaba fala boba fala ude yala. Eno Kampala debi babi zimbe gwe bos magira abana deba bega. Sijokera ngana kajam chibuga Kampala. Kabuli chintu chantu nulila nchagala. Na buli muntu kwesisinkana mwesiga. Nasanga buno bubaya bakugodo bamala kukuba nandole. Obo bandeka nze ntunuza ndali. Olwo nemanye ebyomukyalo boy. Biba tebikola mu city. Ai nasogera kamocha eyemanga. Gyetulabira sinema mu kibanda. Ne bakamunamu olusamba nanda. Nenfukira ddala mu banda. Kampala si kibuga ky'abafala bubafala ovudde yala. Eno Kampala tebiba bizimbe gwe bosmagira abaana tebabega. Kampala si kibuga ky'abafala bubafala ovudde yala. Eno Kampala tebiba bizimbe gwe bosmagira abaana tebabega. Kampala si kibuga ky'abadongo. Kampala kibuga ky'abannabongo. Newankubadde kati efu abadongo. Tuba bannabongo totuyita badongo. Kampala oba olina okukyakala wabula. Kampala oba olina okuterekanga. Kampala oba olina okweraga wabululu olumu oba olina okusirikanga. Kampala oba olina okukaluba wabululu olumu oba olina okugondagonda. Kampala tolina kwesiga wabululu olumu oba olina okwesiga kubanga Kampala si kibuga ky'abafala bobafala ovudde yala. Eno Kampala tebiba bizimbe gwe bosmagira abaana tebabega. Kampala si kibuga ky'abafala bobafala ovudde yala. Eno Kampala tebiba bizimbe gwe bosmagira abaana tebabega. Give me the sound beat made by Relax. Catch Scooby them power because Bad Bobby wine give them lyrics. You know Kampala chibuka chanya so kamunde kati yogenderera nya kuboyo kulusegere. Buli bolo bamuba kutade kulujegere. Bakida kaya lobera nyo muchimangere. You know stay sula mu kaya labwe kati. Uno de mutafuna mirembe. Nakubate yekuka mupenzi ya mulembe. Mama fina te ya muwa mirembe. Kati bijuliride pasta bugembe. Chechi mwati oye zero. Omgaga no mabwenja ulo zero. Site demu yalete nziro. Obusajja bubo ulire mbiro anti. Kampala si kibuga ky'abafala bobafala ovudde yala. Eno Kampala tebiba bizimbe gwe bosmagira abaana tebabega. Kampala si kibuga ky'abafala bobafala ovudde yala. Eno Kampala tebiba bizimbe gwe bosmagira abaana tebabega.
Even not be part of the future. Uganda is ranked among the worst African countries with a high mortality rate. The rate of mothers dying while giving birth is terrible. 68% of Ugandans are very poor and outside the money economy. They can hardly afford a single meal a day. Our past and our present has all been characterized by the might power of the gun. We can't afford to have any more of that in our future. 85% of Ugandans are below 35 years. They are the future. And it's not only moral, but a responsibility for this generation to secure our own future. Vote Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert as your president 2021-2026. Vote the umbrella for a new Uganda. Our future is already indebted with over 56 trillion shillings that we are bound to pay in 94 years. Unfortunately, the biggest chunk of this has been embezzled by those who might even not be part of the future. Uganda is ranked among the worst African countries with a high mortality rate. The rate of mothers dying while giving birth is terrible. 68% of Ugandans are very poor and outside the money economy. They can hardly afford a single meal a day. Our past and our present has all been characterized by the might power of the gun. We can't afford to have any more of that in our future. 85% of Ugandans are below 35 years. They are the future. And it's not only moral, but a responsibility for this generation to secure our own future. Vote Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert as your president 2021-2026. Vote the umbrella for a new Uganda. Our
Amasobo buli wengala ya see sunshine. Endowooza bwe kibeera baby nga you are mine. Obalolere nakusanga nga tuli mu dance. Enkusaba tuzineko nawe omunyigo squeeze. Kakuba kyengamba olabika nga atanchenga. Baby manya buli kyoyenda enkikuwa kabunonenda. One day you say it is Onzikanya, another day you say it is Imuke. One day you say you are Onduparaka, another day you say you are Mayuke. Anyadwe pingo itire mo junya olinganga taidi ndi mumede. Nayenga charenga, echana charenga mama. Singana lini na waka uko, nandi bade nange nyama sabu. Mugambe charenga, matume charenga basi. Singana lini na waka uko. Nange nyama sapo ensaba kulubera kuba n'abalala kuba nange wende netiri muntu wakwemulisa ino naye nga wakawaale olabikonzala wabonda bubutono naye mwattu mwende bana abaniko balaba abapika obunyama naye wakawambwa n'olumu bakwanisa sente n'amala n'akuyisa ng'ente obulungi bw'obwo busaananze nabw'obwananyirira mpanze ono baseka mpulira obutiti ate bwayogera mpulira nyumirwa amaaso ge gakuba emyanso era bondabira nkutuse naye nga kyalenga ekyana kyalenga mama singana lini nawakawobo nandibadde nange ndi amasavu bajenzi kyalenga batume kyalenga basi singana lini nawakawobo nandibadde nange ndi amasavu mukwano ebole taziguleda zikatapira wa
Limuna Uganda.
I come from the black, yellow and red, symbolizing a beautiful nation gifted by nature.
Limuna Uganda, nabo limuna Uganda.
Limuna Uganda,
Mama Uganda, pena tuliva Uganda.
tuliva Uganda.
Limuna Uganda, nabo limuna Uganda.
Limuna Uganda,
Mama Uganda, pena tuliva Uganda. Nabane wakanga na wa televisioni, nabo litenda batijubisa mu America. Biri musitate kwa kuba mu America, nabo litaka bibaonza timu cha America. Kumano mutoye kuba kuba mu America, tukanga nawe mu mazima weisa America. Mu America ya sala ko mu pirika, tukanga mu America asala mu pirika. Oba batakola batabo, okutwaka sanga bole chawe. Nekuleka wowe byampe, netugolomeza bole chabasongo. Ebyaffe netusula mu boloka olinze kino mai. Uganda, nabo limuna Uganda.
Limuna Uganda,
Mama Uganda, pena tuliva Uganda.
tuliva Uganda.
Limuna Uganda, nabo limuna Uganda.
Limuna Uganda,
Mama Uganda, pena tuliva Uganda.
ulira bampita loko bembimbira amululimi Oluganda nindinyumisa wabula nsasira babatenyumiriza maidentite neyokuba omuna Uganda ogenda n'omubuuza wajja yasibuka nga n'abantu basibukamu abasalawa abawagizi Abamerika babiri bamusingira omutolo nga bafirika gye bava babayala abesi bakuba abasalawa ne baleka gye babaagala zibayita bafala abesi bakuba abasalawa ne baleka gye babaagala.
Limuna Uganda, nabo limuna Uganda.
Limuna Uganda,
Mama Uganda, pena tuliva Uganda.
tuliva Uganda.
Limuna Uganda, nabo limuna Uganda.
Limuna Uganda,
Mama Uganda, pena tuliva Uganda.
the way we are sing and the way we are dance, everything we are do is Ugandan style. My attitude, my accent, my instrument is Ugandan style.
Nibanga tukwatagana, penanga tutati mutu yakagana. Kubanga tufanagana, tetusana kubanga tulandagana.
Uganda lobo ma belle, yo meye du chute ma belle, take ma belle, kimondi chute ma belle, wear ma belle, hear ma belle, watiki roof ma belle, jami du chute ma belle. Okwatanisa hamwe ni gomani, agari hamwe ni goga kurume nyama. Iskanyo weni weturi omuntu omwe, let's get together and build up the pal.
Limuna Uganda, nabo limuna Uganda.
Limuna Uganda,
Mama Uganda, pena tuliva Uganda.
tuliva Uganda,
Limuna Uganda, nabo limuna Uganda.
Limuna Uganda.
Mama Uganda, pena tuliva Uganda.
Is already indebted with over 56 trillion shillings that we are bound to pay in 94 years. Unfortunately, the biggest chunk of this has been embezzled by those who might even not be part of the future. Uganda is ranked among the worst African countries with a high mortality rate. The rate of mothers dying while giving birth is terrible. 68% of Ugandans are very poor and outside the money economy. They can hardly afford a single meal a day. Our past and our present has all been characterized by the might power of the gun. We can't afford to have any more of that in our future. 85% of Ugandans are below 35 years. They are the future. And it's not only moral, but a responsibility for this generation to secure our own future. Vote Chagulanyi Sentamu Robert as your president 2021-2026. Vote the umbrella for a new Uganda. Our future is already indebted with over 56 trillion shillings that we are bound to pay in 94 years. Unfortunately, the biggest chunk of this has been embezzled by those who might even not be part of the future. Uganda is ranked among the worst African countries with a high mortality rate. The rate of mothers dying while giving birth is terrible. 68% of Ugandans are very poor and outside the money economy. They can hardly afford a single meal a day. Our past and our present has all
fellow Ugandans, I greet you, those that are watching us from within the country and those in the diaspora. Allow me to wish you a happy new year, but most importantly, to welcome all of us from the year 2020. It was such a challenging year, and right now we can all say Alhamdulillah. We can thank the Almighty God for delivering us from a year that was full of challenges. It was in 2020 that we were attacked by the global pandemic of COVID-19. This is when our nation was locked down, which lockdown came with a lot of economic challenges to very many Ugandans. But again, this is when the Museveni regime used this opportunity to borrow a lot of money, which money was not used to better our healthcare system, but the same money was used to continuously oppress our people. A big chunk of it was stolen, unfortunately. In this year, we have lost so many Ugandans. Many of them, we lost them to natural causes, and many of them died of unexplained deaths. We continue to remember outstanding deaths like one of Sheikh Muzata, which up to now is a big question in the minds of all of us. I want to send my heartfelt condolences to all the people that have lost loved ones in the year 2020. Many state-sanctioned murders happened, from the killing of Rita Nabokenya to Dani Cheyune to very many other Ugandans. But again, the world is still trying to come to terms with the November massacre, where more than 100 innocent citizens of Uganda were killed on the orders of General Museveni. We also remember that many people like Omar Bone, like Hussein Warugembe were killed. And in the very recent days, we just buried our comrade, Frank. Frank was murdered, run over by a military police patrol car. And as usual, there was no report, there was no explanation from those that killed him. We've seen journalists attacked, beaten, and as we speak right now, one of the journalists, Ashraf Kasirye, is recovering in hospital with a very deep cut that shattered his skull. I'm happy to report to you that the doctors encouraged us that Sheriff will be well, although it will take quite a long time. I was able to visit him and he's responding well, although he's not able to talk, but at least he opens his eyes, which we expected to happen in 2 weeks. By the grace of God, that has happened in just over 48 hours. As I speak to you, ladies and gentlemen, more than 100 of our close working campaign team members are incarcerated. Some are still in Kalangala, some are at Masaka Central Police Station, while others, we are informed, are detained in Kasajagirwa Military Barracks. Those that were able to access them have informed us that they have gone through grave torture. Some of them cannot even stand. Just yesterday, a group of medical doctors was seen at Masaka CPS trying to treat some of our members. These are people that did not have a single wound when they were arrested. And yes, I must say that comrades like Nubian Lee, Dan Magic, and Eddie Mutwe, nobody knows where they are. They were separated from the other detainees, and up to now, we don't know where they are. We only get reports that they've been gravely tortured. We continue to demand for their immediate release. But ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, disagreeing with General Museveni has become a death sentence. We condemn that in the strongest terms possible. This is what General Museveni has always claimed to have fought against. General Museveni has always called swine the regimes that came before him for abusing the rights of the citizens. Unfortunately, his regime that has become now a regime of blood and national shame is doing the same things or even worse. We have seen abductions of our people. Ladies and gentlemen, the days of Pandagari are back. More than 1,000 of our supporters have been kidnapped. Some are held in military incarceration, while others have disappeared and are not seen to date. We have learned that some have been charged in military court. Innocent citizens, they are charged in military court and they are remanded, while some of them are not seen at all. We have also seen a wave of attack on sports people, and in particular the boxers. Some more than 20 days ago, a renowned professional boxer who is retired, Justin Juko, was arrested in Masaka. And it was until a few days ago that he was released without any charges. Juko was held in military detention without any knowledge and without any access of his family, lawyers, or doctor. We are also aware that a one Joe Vegas Rubega, a champion boxer attached to the National Unity Platform, was arrested, and up to now nobody knows where he is. We are also informed that Coach Chiza, who runs a gym in Chisenyi at Social Center, was abducted by the military, and up to now we have not known where he is. Ladies and gentlemen, as if that is not enough, all of you woke up to the brutal murder of a renowned boxer, Isaac Senyange, popularly known as Zebra Mando. Zebra was a personal friend to me, but he was a friend to so many people. Zebra was a boxer, and I trained with him in the past days. Zebra was a strong supporter of the National Resistance Movement, the NRM. But Zebra was attacked by security personnel and was brutally murdered in his home in Bwaise. We all didn't believe, because he was murdered in the same way as Abiriga was murdered, in the same way as Afande Chirumira was murdered, in the same way as Kawesa was murdered. Same style, execution style. It was until General Museveni came up on the 31st of December 2020 and indeed made it clear that Zebra was murdered by security. He went ahead to explain that security had gone to arrest Zebra and question him, but they ended up murdering him. What the world doesn't understand is how security goes to question a renowned supporter of the regime, murders him and leaves him where he was murdered. Nobody has been arrested in connection to the murder of Zebra. We only know that the president called the widow and sent a condolence money to the widow. This is the same thing that General Museveni has been doing, always being the first person to show up on the murder scenes of the people. But again, making sure that no report is made. As we all know, no report came out of the murder of Kawesa. No report came out of the murder of Kagezi. No report came out of the murder of Afande Chirumira. And we know that no report will come out of the murder of Zebra. Kino kanchogere ne mu Luganda. Zebra yatemuddwa. Zebra yali mukwano gwange nga bokisa munne, nga muvubuka munne, nga ghetto youth munne. Era Zebra yali muwagizi nnyo wa NRM, naye nga manyi nga mukwano gwe. Zebra bwe yasembayo okulabika mu katambi ka video yali ayogera na RCC ne DPC nga babasaba olukusa okujja okuba abawagizi baffe n'obakolako effujjo. Kyanaku nnyo nti abantu Zebra babadde akolera, kubanga tumanyi nti abo abantu tebalina mukwano, babakozesa bukozesa naye ekiseera bwe kituuka nga tebakyakwetaaga naawe ne bakutemula nga bwe babadde batemula abalala. Zebra yatemuddwa. Zebra yatemuddwa okusinziira ku bigambo bya mutabani we ne ku bigambo bya mukyala we. Yatemuddwa abasirikale abajjidde mu motoka ez'ekika kya drone. Emmotoka ze zimu ze muzze mulaba nga ziwamba abantu nga zibakwata. Tukiri tulowooza nti ze motoka ezakwata Juko, ze motoka ezakwata Joe Vegas Rubega, ze motoka ezawamba Coach Kiza owa Social Center mu Kisenyi paka kati nga tannaba kulabika. Zebra n'atemulwa. Twabadde tukyebuuza enfa ya Zebra paka mwami Museveni bwe yavuddeyo n'akakasa nti ddala kituufu abasirikale be batemudde Zebra. Era ne yeetonda nti ali sore. Era n'agamba nti kati ye yeddiza obuvunaanyizibwa obw'okunoonyereza ku batemu abatemudde Zebra. Naye nga ffenna tumanyi nti entemula y'emu gye batemuddemu Zebra yentemula gye batemulamu Afande Kawesa, yentemula gye batemulamu Bawama Mafiina, yentemula gye batemulamu muganda waffe Abiriga, yentemula gye batemulamu Kirumira. Naye era okuva ku bwe batemula paka olwaleero tewali report yali efulumye. Mwami Museveni yakikomezaawo nga bw'eri enkola ye nti batta abaana baffe naye ne baleeta amabugo ebyo ne bikomaawo. Era yaweereza namwandu amabugo ng'alinga amugamba nti bawo twamuse genda oguleyo Zebra omulala. Ekyo nno kya nnaku nnyo tukivumirira. Naye njagala kigende eri mwena ba ghetto youth, njagala kigende eri mwena ba boxer, njagala kigende eri mwena bana Uganda abavubuka naddala mmwe be bakozesa okukola ebikolobero ku bannammwe, kubanga eno gavumenti ya Museveni ey'obuswavu tesobola kuyimirirawo nga tekozeseza abantu. Nakibagambako nti nobody can keep you a slave without your permission. Yeffe tubawa permission ne bakozesa ffe, ne bakozesa ffe okumenya amayumba g'abandi, ne bakozesa ffe okugoba abantu ku ttaka, ne bakozesa ffe okutulugunya abantu, ne bakozesa ffe okukuba n'okutemula n'okusirisa abo abagezaako ate okulwanirira eddembe ly'abalala. Naye oluvannyuma lwa byonna naffe ne batuzikiza. Bwe batyo bayisa Kiwana, bwe batyo bakoze abantu bonna ne muganda waffe Zebra bwe bamuyisiza. Kitalo nnyo ekya Zebra, naye nkikuteekako mwami Museveni. You are responsible for the death of these young people. We cannot wait to live in a Uganda where life is precious, where the lives of young people is taken seriously, is valued. Kitalo nnyo, kitalo ddala ekya muganda waffe Zebra Mando. It's on the same note that I want to mention that it is not only Zebra that was murdered, but also a young man called Robert Mukasa, who was Zebra's close friend. He was arrested by the same security on the day Zebra was murdered. The following day, Robert was found in Bombo, dead and abandoned in a bush. Kyanaku nnyo tulwamaze okutemula Zebra ne gwe bamukutte naye Robert naye bamusanze attiddwa. President w'eggwanga yennyini yavuddeyo n'akakasa nti abantu abasse Zebra abamanyi, naye era kimanyiddwa nti abasse Zebra be baakutte ne Robert kubanga naye yabadde boxer era nazuulibwa ng'afudde. So it is clear nti kati obutemu buli official, government is sanctioning obutemu, ne bajja ne batemula omuntu, ekyo ne kikomaawo. Ekyono kya nnaku, that is what we are fighting to end. I've already mentioned that so many people have been abducted. Many are rotting in jails while others are still missing. And it is our pledge that the first thing that we'll do when we get into power is to free all the political prisoners, all the prisoners of conscience that have been incarcerated by the Museveni regime. And we know that that day is not far from where we are. Ladies and gentlemen, now that we have completed 2020, now that we've stepped strongly, firmly and confidently into the year 2021, we can only praise the Almighty God. We can only say, Ebenezer, thus far the Lord has brought us. In the new year 2021, we choose hope over fear. We choose confidence over doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the year that we all have been waiting for. This is 2021. We have been planning for this year. We've been waiting for this year. And now we are here. Like Shakespeare said one time, that let us remember and celebrate. Let us eat and drink to the general happiness of the company and our friends that have not made it. But we are here. We are in 2021, and we've always been saying Mission 2021. This is the year to accomplish our mission. We have 12 days from today. 12 days. But I would rather look at it from the point of view of 10 days of campaign. 10 more days. So we have 10 days to determine the future of our country. We have 10 days to determine the fate of Uganda. We have 10 days of campaign and 12 days to a historical election. It is this election where we are going to determine whether we shall remain slaves in our own country or whether we shall free up. It is in this election where we are going to decide whether our lives are going to be precious and valuable or we are going to continue dying like useless creatures in our own country. It is those 12 days, ladies and gentlemen. I want to make a clarion call to all the people of Uganda. I call upon you, ladies and gentlemen, to rise up and accomplish the mission that we have all been preaching. I want to call upon you to turn out in large numbers and vote. I want to encourage all of you to dedicate these remaining 12 days, to dedicate these days to the future of our country. I've said it before, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to say it again, that we are non-violent. General Museveni has tried everything possible to project us as violent so that he can be able to respond to us with violence. I say it one more time, that we are non-violent. We are just Ugandans. We are farmers. We are border riders. We are nurses. We are doctors. We are teachers. We are lawyers. We are people of Uganda that are determined to change the fate of their nation. We are Uganda. We are the National Unity Platform. We want to change our country, and we are doing that peacefully. So, to the people of Uganda, turn up in big numbers and vote. That is the only solution. We've called upon you in the past to register massively as voters, and you did so. We called upon you to open your eyes, and you did so. We called upon you to spread the message of freedom, and you did so. Now is the time to vote. This is no usual election. This is a revolutionary election. So let's come out in big numbers and vote. Bamama abali mu katale, mikwano gyange aba boda boda, abalimi, abantu abali mu byalo, yonna gye muli muveeyo mulonde mikwano gyange, ate mulonde mu bungi. Eyo ye answer yokka. Akaluluko ke kagenda okuteeka eddagala mu malwaliro, akaluluko ke kagenda okukomya ettemu lino limubadde mulaba erigenda maaso, akaluluko ke kagenda obulamu bwo bukyusa bubeere bwa kitiibwa, akaluluko ke kagenda okusalawo oba osobola okweyogerera oba tosobola kweyogerera, akaluluko ssebo nnyabo ke kagenda okuggula enzigi z'amakomera n'ezo zi barracks gye basibidde baganda baffe ba Nubian ba Eddie Mutwe nga tebalina musango. Akaluluko ke kagenda okuwa eddembe okweyagalira mu nsi yo, ke kagenda okuwa citizenship, ke kagenda okuwa eddembe ly'obuntu naawe obeere ng'omuntu. It is your vote that is going to do that. And please, tubasaba zino ennaku 12 ezisigaddeyo muziweeyo mikwano gyange, muziweeyo ku lw'ensi yammwe. Keera buli ku makya obeeko gw'otuusaako obubaka, keera buli ku makya oteeketeeko omuntu, muveeyo mu bungi mulonde. Olunaku lw'14 lwe tugenda okulonda. Teekateeka masiki yo, teekateeka national ID yo, teekateeka akagonge we balondera, ofube olonde. N'abo abalwadde oba bateesobola mubayambe baveeyo balonde. It is on the 14th of January 2021 when we are going to change the fate of Uganda. We know that the regime is planning on a lot of things. We know that the regime is planning to cut off the internet. We know that the regime is planning to cut off mobile money services. We know that they are planning to cut off electricity. We know that they are even planning a lockdown. We know they are planning massive arrests, which they've already started doing. We know that they have already arranged fake terrorist centers in Mbuya barracks and other military military centers. We know that they have carried out and they continue to carry out massive arrests. So prepare for that. Tukimanyi bulungi the government ya Museveni teina chance ku kalulu. Yensonga lwaki bali mu kuyoola abaana bazzeemu panda gaali. Tumanyi nti bateekateeka ku lunaku olwo okussa amagye. They intend to deploy the military everywhere to intimidate people, to stop people from voting. Bateekateeka okuleeta amagye bagayiwe buli wamu. Bateekateeka okutiisatiisa abantu babalemesa okulonda kuba bamanyi bannayuganda bavaayo mu bungi ne balonda Museveni akake kabawo kabweddemu. Tumanyi nti bateekateeka okuleeta obululu okubuyiwamu ng'olwedde buli ticket. Bateekateeka okusalako internet. Bateekateeka okusalako amasannyalaze mu bitundu ebisinga obungi eby'omu Uganda. Bateekateeka okusalako mobile money. Tumanyi nti bateekateeka n'okola lockdown. Ensonga lwaki tubasaba mweteeketeeke. Byo byonna mubeere nga mubimanyi. Bagenda kukusala amagezi okwata abantu bangi nnyo. Ba agenti baffe bagenda kufuba okulaba nga babayoola. Bafuba nnyo okulaba nga buli muntu aneetoolodde oba buli muwagizi wa NUP oba buli mukulembeze wa NUP nga bamukwata ne bamusiba. Njagadde nnyo bannayuganda mubitegeere. Manyi nti bateekateeka bateegese nadda in fact tali center emu bagitadde Mbuya, endala tulina information bagitadde Nakasongola naye ne mu bitundu ebirala gye baagala okugattiragatira omugatte ogwa omufu ogw'okulonda. But I want to encourage all of you, one, turn out in large numbers and vote, and after that please keep a safe distance but continue watching the proceedings. Don't go back home. Let us dedicate the 14th of January to our nation. Everything that we are encouraging you to do is legal, it is constitutional, and nothing is criminal. We also know that the Electoral Commission intends to delay voting materials in some areas, particularly in Kampala, in Wakiso, in Mukono, and in areas of Masaka. We also know that they are intending to announce results very late. We want to appeal to you, Mr. Byabakama and the Electoral Commission, and at the same time warn you that the people of Uganda are not going to accept that. You've done that in the past, but you're dealing with a totally different generation. So, the more you really disrespect the people of Uganda, the more you will be accountable for any result of a bad election. It is in your best interest and in the interest of the people of Uganda that you respect their voices. Tumanyi timwami Byabakama n'akakiiko k'ebyokulonda bateekateeka okuluyisaayo ebirondesebwa ebyo ebikozesebwa mu kulonda mu bitundu ebimu nga mu Kampala muno mwennyini, ng'e Wakiso, ng'e Mukono, ng'e Masaka ne walala. Naye twagala mwami Byabakama n'akakiiko k'ebyokulonda obakubira omulanga n'obbalabula nti bannayuganda tebagenda kukkiriza nkola eyo ey'obumenyi bw'amateeka. Musirise nga batukolako ebikolobero. Tumanyi nti mwami Byabakama toli mitambo gya kalulu kano, naye njagala okuwa amagezi oleme kubeera nampulira zibi, oleme kubeera ng'enswera gye boogerako mu lugero egoberera omulambo paka Montana. Now to Mr. Museveni. General Museveni, wakati mukuwa ekitiibwa tuze tugamba ne ku mulundi guno tugamba tetulina kye tukusaba. We are not asking for anything from you, General Museveni. All we are saying is keep your word. Keep your word. In Africa, they teach us that a man is noble if he's a man of his word. What we're saying is keep your word. Respect the words that you said when you are a young man. You called Obote and Amin swines for disrespecting the rights of the people of Uganda. You are abusing the rights of Ugandans much worse than the previous regimes. Respect your word. We are not violent. We are not up for violence. But again, we are not going to be silent in the face of oppression. We have said it before and we are saying it again. We are not your slaves. We are the people of Uganda. We are the young people whose future you have robbed away from us, whose parents have died because of your misrule, whose brothers and sisters you are continuing to kill, whose parents lost it all, whose future has gone and we are trying to reinvent it. Be a man of your word. General Museveni, you cannot kill all of us. You cannot. It is unfortunate, very unfortunate, to see that once a prized revolutionary, you have decided to bury your legacy in muck. But again, if that's what you have chosen, that is your decision. However, I tell you today, like I've told you in the past, that you either respect the voice of the people of Uganda, or you will end up like all the other despots have ended up. Oppressed people cannot remain oppressed forever. And for as long as I still have the breath in my body, I will open my mouth and tell you the truth. After all, you go to government, politics is about kulaba mukama. So, tujabi kugamba muzeyi, ngabwe biri, tukumanye ekitiibwa mukadde waffe, ne munnange, tetuli baddubo. Tuli bana Uganda. Tuyinza okubeera aba boda boda, tuyinza okubeera aba comedian, tuyinza okubeera abalimi, tuyinza okubeera abasiisi ba chapati. Naye eno Uganda naffe tugiyinako omugabo nga ggwe n'abaana bo. Eno Uganda naffe nsi yaffe. Wano we batuzaalidde. Era ne bw'onootutta wano we bagenda otuziika. Twagala nnyo okubeera mu nsi eyeeyagaza nga buli omu awamu n'ekitiibwa. Nga ffe n'abaana bo tuli mu nsi nga buli omu asanyukira munne, so tewali nsonga lwaki obeera otuyisa nga ba second class citizens. Tetuli ba second class citizens sa, tuli bana Uganda. And I hope that message is received by you with an open heart. We respect you, but we would rather you respect yourself as well. Now, to the people of Uganda, we've told you before, we tell you again, that be non-violent, be peaceful, but be assertive. I say it again, be non-violent, be peaceful, but be assertive. Your right is your right, and nobody can and should take away that right from you. Please use your smartphone. Use your smartphone. That smartphone is a very powerful weapon. We've moved the entire country from the north to the south and central, from the west to the east. We've been confronted with soldiers and police officers armed to the tooth. But we've noticed they fear one thing, that is the camera. So we are calling upon you to use your smartphone, use your camera as much as possible. Go live whenever you can. Expose, expose, expose. As much as you can expose. I want to also ask you, on the day of elections, the 14th of January 2021, please make sure you record the proceedings, but most importantly, that particular time when the returning officer is announcing the result, make sure you capture that. Make sure you capture that particular moment. I know that we are very many Ugandans, and I know that we can do that as a nation, as a population. All we want is clarity. So make sure you capture that. Kozesa kamera yo mukwano gwange. Kamera kyakulwanyisa kyamaanyi nnyo 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 nnyo. Twetolodde eggwanga lyonna lyonna nga batulumbagana balina ebyokulwanyisa ebya buli kala. Naye twazudde nti batya ekintu kimu, batya kamera. N'olw'ensonga eyo njagala okusaba okozese kamera yo. Genda live recording ebigenda maaso byonna byonna olabise nga bw'osobola. Naye ekikulu ennyo nnyo njagala okukusaba nti recordinga ako kapaati presiding officer waalangirira ebivudde mu kulonda, nti olwaleero bantu balonze bwe bati, gundi afunye obululu bwe buti, n'ono afunye bwe buti, n'ono afunye bwe buti. Awo we njagala okusaba orecordinge. Abatasobola kurecordinga mukozese audio. Those that don't have cameras, please use audio, record as audio, but make sure you record it. Bono recordinga clip eyo tujja kubawa enamba kwe mugenda okubanga musindika byemba mu recordinze. I also want to use this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to announce that for the last few months we have been building an application that is going to help us tally our election, to tally our results. That application is called Dido. Excuse us, ladies and gentlemen. I'll say this again. I want to take this opportunity to announce to the nation and to the world that for the last few months we have been building an application that will help us bring together the results of this election. That application is called YouVote, and you will be able to access it from Google Play Store in the next few hours. This application will help us ensure that we tighten every noose that the dictatorship was trying to use to rig our vote. Kanchogere mu Luganda, kankozesa omukisa guno okulangirira eri eggwanga n'ensi yonna. Tokumala emyezi nga gijo tubadde tuzimba app oba application enetuyamba okuŋŋaanya n'okubala akalulu kaffe. Eyo application bagiyita YouVote era egenda kubeera available ku Google Play Store mu ssaawa eziddako embale. But as of now, we shall be sending it to you by WhatsApp and we will ask you to share it. With that application, you ensure that you get the declaration form and send it to that app. You take a picture of the DR form and send it to that app. That can be done by our agents, but it can also be done by any citizen. Because this is not only about agents, this is about all the people of Uganda. And I want to invite all the people of Uganda to kindly be part of this, because this is going to be historical. Eyo app egenda kubeera available eri ba agent baffe, naye ate era ejja kubeera available eri bannayuganda bonna tusobole ogikozesa, kubanga tugezaako okusala amagezi gonna okulaba ng'engeri gye babadde baplanning okubbamu akalulu kaffe tuziba buli kituli. Finally, I want to warn all the people that Museveni intends to use to brutalize our people, to kill our people, and to stay for the voice of the people of Uganda. Brothers and sisters in the armed forces, brothers and sisters in police, all brothers and sisters in uniform and in security agencies, I want to remind you that the majority of you are young people. Choose the side of the people of Uganda and not the side of an aging dictator who is clearly on his way out. You have read from history, from the past history and even the recent history. There is no reason why you would abuse your oath. You were not trained to kill Ugandans. You were not trained to brutalize people. You were trained to keep law and order. You were trained to keep the citizens of your country safe. So, it is upon you to make this historical decision, because this is about yourself, this is about your future, this is about your children's future, and it's about the future of your children's children. We all can live in a good country, in a Uganda where soldiers are loved by citizens, where police officers are respected by citizens, where police officers are not ordered to kill or brutalize citizens against their will. We can do that, ladies and gentlemen. So I appeal to all of us to use our conscience. I want to appeal to you not to be robots. Be human beings. You are citizens. You are men and women of honor. You wear our national badge and our national flag with honor. You deserve dignity. You don't deserve shame. I want to thank all of you for listening to me, and I want to request you to spread this message far and wide. Thank you very much for God and my country, and I wish you a very happy New Year 2021. Thank you.
Characterized by the might power of the gun, we can't afford to have any more of that in our future. 85% of Ugandans are below 35 years. They are the future. And it's not only moral, but a responsibility for this generation to secure our own future. Vote Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert as your president 2021-2026. Vote the umbrella for a new Uganda. Our future is already indebted with over 56 trillion shillings that we are bound to pay in 94 years. Unfortunately, the biggest chunk of this has been embezzled by those who might even not be part of the future. Uganda is ranked among the worst African countries with a high mortality rate. The rate of mothers dying while giving birth is terrible. 68% of Ugandans are very poor and outside the money economy. They can hardly afford a single meal a day. Our past and our present has all been characterized by the might power of the gun. We can't afford to have any more of that in our future. 85% of Ugandans are below 35 years. They are the future. And it's not only moral, but a responsibility for this generation to secure our own future. Vote Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert as your president 2021-2026. Vote the umbrella for a new Uganda. Our
sibye mutyanno bannaffe abatuwuliriza gano ge mawulire ag'essaawa eno omusomize Dr. Neiro Yinkimukaga Prince Neris Kayondo. Bannansi babadde bakyali kugwa amasannyalaze okulinnya ebitundu 99 ku 100 gujabagidde omunafu azadde kalira endiga ewalampye ennyumba. Minisita we bamukutte n'obukadde 150 obw'ensimbi so nga ne mu ddwaliro ekkulu teri ddagala. Gaagano mu bujjuvu.
Freedom comes to those who fight, but not to those who cry. Cause the more you cry, is the more your people continue to die. So rise, defend your rights. Yaga, 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 yaga. Give me the man's style. I don't know why the corruption is too much. Yaga, yaga, yaga. Why the price of electricity too high? Yaga, yaga, yaga. Why the price of education is too high? Yaga, yaga, yaga. Can't you see the tribalism is too much? I would like to communicate to the things that we have to eliminate. Ignorance and poverty to eradicate. All the whole I get to use them to educate. Yo, don't you try to politicize. Don't think me I try to criticize. No, sensitize me I sensitize. And me know say my people must realize the most important things. To liberty begins in your mindset. To free get up people they must educate. But education expensive to get. It's like you say we carry water in a basket. I don't know why the corruption is too much. Yaka, yaka, yaka. Why the price of electricity too high? Yaka, yaka, yaka. Why the price of education is too high? Yaka, yaka, yaka. Can't you see the tribalism is too much, too much, too much? Kajike mudawo mwerimbe amuwoza tusaba government tuyambe opposition ije tusubire tuyambe mulira nabo batukola mu musimbi yo mulikola mu kyanga becyanze abanyigirizi babonanga becaye omuntu wa famire yo musabo kumwezi tegumulisa kumala wiki chobola bangamba tutude ku time bomb yakala kubalukelo time bomb keri baluka emugamba temwajimanya ayaga yaga yaga yaga. I don't know why the corruption is too much. Yaga yaga yaga. Why the price of electricity too high? Yaga yaga yaga. Why the price of education is too high? Yaga yaga yaga. Can't you see the tribalism is too much? Big up to the leaders them. The bad news is that everything is wrong, but the good news is that you still can fix it. Kumasomero fizi tusasula zimu naye emirimu gibera gyabalondemu abavubuka kapisala gwe mulimu emiteri watagwan obusosoze mu mawanga birungi kate fena tumanyi tekiba kirungi. Yes, take a look in every office kati kyenjogerako what don't you see? So me say ebintu ebyo byenjogerako abasinga bibalumira mulinde bisigalayo ku mitima. Buli omu yandifunye equal opportunity no matter the tribe etumalawo fitina anti eno ye time bomb enguudo mwe tuyita time bomb embeera y'omalwaliro time bomb n'amasomero mwe tusomeseza abatoto baffe yaga yaga yaga. I don't know why the corruption is too much. Yaga yaga yaga. Why the price of electricity too high? Yaga yaga yaga. Why the price of education is too high? Yaga yaga yaga. Can't you see the tribalism is too much? I don't know why the corruption is too much. Yaga yaga yaga. Why the price of electricity too high? Yaga yaga yaga. Why the price of education is too high? Yaga yaga yaga. Can't you see the tribalism is too much? Yaga yaga yaga. We no promote no violence. We condemn the violence. Rasta no promote no violence. Give me all. Ebino bwenabira benatide nnyo okulwana mu bavubuka kususe nnyo kata bakulembeze ekibaswaza nnyo bamma bavubuka nze nsaba tukole bwetute abokulonda kubeere kwa ddembe ano buyinza butuuke mu ddembe ana uganda mulonde mu ddembe awo obulamu butunyumire sabye okulonda kubeere kwa ddembe ano buyinza butuuke mu ddembe ana uganda tubeere baddembe ano mwaka gubanyumire ovako independence tuli mu ntalo kyekiganye ne uganda okola lwa ntalo buli gavumenti ejana ntalo era bagala okugenda zebenga ntalo bakikola batya eri ebusukka nsalo abakyusa awatali kulwana ntalo lwaki temukitandika basebo nga temwagamba kyekyabalwanisa entalo lwaki oyoza engoye enjeru ate nozanika ku kiti kyenziro lwaki temulabira ku mandera yafuka kyemunatabendera abakulembeze okula mu ntebe ekireetera uganda okufuka eddebe buli ayogerako ngola kuzimulabe ekyo tekituzimba tuba tudda mabega abantu obaleka ne balondawo omuntu watakoze ne bamugjawo ekyo nesemateeka akyogerako bomubikula kyosookerako wabula abokulonda kubeere kwa ddembe ano buyinza butuuke mu ddembe ana uganda mulonde mu ddembe awo obulamu butunyumire sabye okulonda kubeere kwa ddembe ano buyinza butuuke mu ddembe ana uganda tubeere baddembe ano mwaka gubanyumire. Now this is a message to every Ugandan, especially the candidates right from MC1 straight up to president. Violence is backwardness while peace is godliness. Nanuge mazima gali agakawa janalabuka kage kubusa boy obanga mu mazima oyagala Uganda ne mu bikolwa okiraganga tuzimba omusingi okuyamba Uganda n'abaana baffe gwe balirabira bamanye omuntu okugenda mu buyinza tekikyetagisa kuyiwa musaayi bamanye abantu besimbawo abantu ne balondako asinze n'abafuga gwe basinze namukwata n'emukono naye abakulembeze kati mutulaga kimu kyakulwana lwaki mutukuza bubi laba bwe tukuze ffenna nga tumanyi kimu kyakulimba lwaki mutukuza bubi ebwe njogera ku kituufu nonzigulako emisango awo oba otukuze bubi ayawuka n'endowooza yo tekimufuna mulabewo ffenna tuleba nayo omukulembeze omulungi awuliriza ebiruma abantu abakukyakolawo buli munnayuganda woli kikakata kukuma emirembe ffenna tuleba nayo abokulonda kubeere kwa ddembe ano buyinza butuuke mu ddembe ana uganda mulonde mu ddembe awo obulamu butunyumire sabye okulonda kubeere kwa ddembe ano buyinza butuuke mu ddembe ana uganda tubeere baddembe ano mwaka gubanyumire. Dan Magic is a real magician. Dream Studio jegubugide. Dan Magic is a real magician. Yeah man, for God and my country. Kampala, Uganda.